This is a bespoke building for a single tenancy, so it's really about getting under the skin of who the client is, Swade & Swade, understanding what they need and also understanding who the tenant is and what they need. And that kind of drives the building, the layout, the organisation of the spaces, etc., to then allow the interiors to come in and design their bit. Security is a key aspect of it. They are very private, and I think opening up the prow and the front of the building and taking advantage of some of the new ways in which they want to present themselves to the public is one of the key elements of the design. I think one of BSBG's strengths, and there are some great examples of that with various buildings that we've done, is finding the utopia of usable GFA versus efficiencies, but still keeping the aesthetic principles and the detailing. So you're creating beautiful pieces of architecture, but it's actually based on a very efficient floor plate and a series of very scientific studies. And as I say, a lot of our design work is built on a very solid foundation of logic, but also very creative, and that's a very good balance.
We were coming out of the ground and we were coming up. COVID hit, and then obviously all the restrictions with site happened, so we had potential slowing in works with respect to outbreaks on site. And then on top of that, there was also the procurement. So critical items and materials that were coming from offshore and how long it was going to take, because COVID had caused all kinds of disruptions. With all that in play to get the project finished when they did, the client and the team did a great job.
The key element actually was simplicity and working on rhythm of both horizontally and vertically. And it's really a slick kind of monochromatic lozenge that has a few rhythmic movements in the facade and breaking up the volume, but is incredibly simple in its approach. And the way that the light interacts on the building at different times of day is actually very good. And we tested it in the 3D and we tested it as a rendering, and it's very pleasing to see actually the end result. The reality of it is very, very, very similar to the original design intent.
For me, at night, I think it looks really impressive. Just seeing all the internal office spaces sort of jump out through the facade. It has very distinctive elements which reflect the internal workings of the space. The internal stair is on show. It's very well positioned in terms of the site, and I think it's turned out magnificently well.